Hello, hello. We are going live with the DoCTalk number 3. The DoCTalk number 3 where we are going to be talking about quite interesting and fascinating stuff. We haven't seen each other in a while, so yeah, it's been a while. We were really busy. So,
Yeah,
Rancord.
hello from me as well. I'm glad we finally could make it together for another Doc Talk.
Yeah, totally. I'd like to warn and apologize in advance, everybody. If I happen to disconnect, please do not go anywhere. I'll reconnect. My internet is tiny bit flaky, so it just might happen. I get a random disconnect. Just be patient. 1 minute and or 2 minutes, and I'm back on, and we're rolling again.
And you don't want to miss anything from today's show because there will be a new card, which we're gonna
Yeah.
spoiler. There will be Jason Paradise, an awesome guy, joining us, and we will be talking about the aggressive meta at the later part of the show.
Yeah, totally. So why don't we just kick it right in and talk about the new cards?
Yes, sure. I guess we start first with those who all have already been revealed at the forums and tell you a bit of our thinking. So I'm gonna start with two heroes we have seen in the forum. One was the Ignatius, which hasn't been fully spoiled. For now, we know that he has the Fire and the Dark spell school, and it's the first no, it's actually the second hero from Inferno with those spell schools. But the Invoker starts at Zero Might, and we just guessing that there won't be any more Invokers at that point, except the one that has also been mentioned. So the interesting thing about that hero is that at some point when you reach a certain level, you get to deal damage every time the opponent discards a card. What do you think about that?
Well, it all depends how exactly is it going to be balanced, because you can clearly think of situations where every time discarding card will every time getting damaged when you discard the card will lead to a situation that are very hated by players. So having an ultimate stall deck, right, and then just pinging you for whatever the number of damage would be. So I think that it should be very well balanced. That you cannot really do it if the stall strategies aren't favored.
So I'm pretty sure that that if you need to level up to a certain level, but you want to use your discard probably early to disrupt the hand, if the enemy already played his stuff, well, there's not much. Well, it's not as strong as it could be.
Yeah, that's true. All you need to take care as a designer of the card is just not let it get out of hand way too quickly.
Cute. And the next one, which is also not fully spoiled yet, so we want to keep it short there as well, is Asla, the Invoker of the Academy faction. I guess the most interesting thing is that she has light, fire, and water. And those are the three factions who all offer buffs for creatures. So there is the Icy Weapon and Refreshing Spring for water. There's Inner Fire for fire, or Must Inner Fire. And there is Bless for light. And I guess maybe we can see a buff deck here. I'm not sure yet.
I'm guessing that it would need to come in the conjoint with Power Death Seekers, right? Because those are the haha, this is the damage you didn't expect kind of cards. But again, as well, you can kind of expect the buff deck that would work a little bit similar to what Sanctuary is doing right now. I mean, you don't have the maneuver, right? Uh,
Yeah. but probably the Moonsilk Spider could be interesting here because you also already up might, and they said that Academy offers a lot of low might creatures.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Low might creatures with the natural ability to increase the magic, like the Wizard Tutor we're going to talk about in a moment. That gives you an opportunity to be aggressive to be a little bit wasteful with the cards you're using, because so far the buff ongoings on creatures, they are kind of seen as a waste, right? Icy Weapon is rather used, or Bless is rather used as a one-off buff than as an ongoing that will have an effect for 3 or more turns. So the card is kind of wasted, right?
Yes, because you use it as a 1 to kill a creature, and everything else you get is a bonus.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the people want to talk about cards where they see everything and want to go on to the new cards. Let's jump into the cards that have been shown at PAX event.
Yes. And we're starting with
the Wizard Tutor.
Wizard Tutor. So let me just bring him up on the screen. Here we go. This is the Wizard Tutor. I'm sorry for the quality of the card, but I cannot really. This is the resolution that I did get myself. So
that looks quite fine.
Yeah. So we have a 105 with 2 cost and 1 might to a magic requirement. It's a shooter, magical shooter, and it's got magic channel 1. I love this creature.
This is awesome because we heard and we're gonna think that Academy is more about magic than others, and with 5 HP he's able to withstand some storm. So it's really hard to get rid of him outside of a mass grave early, and that means it might be already possible to make pretty sweet use of the magic channel.
Oh, that's true, and he withstands the usual combo of attack for 2 and a firebolt, attack for 2 and earthquake, attack for 2 and maybe like buffed attack for 2 plus bless, right? Or in a fire. Yes. So he is a blocker that actually very much annoys Inferno.
Yes, and I'm excited about the gameplay that will Academy offer with all that magic, because that's gonna be something new we haven't seen until now. Like now we saw the creature decks which up might and get some support spells, but the Wizard Tutor and other things will enable new play styles, which is awesome and exciting.
Yeah, and I already see on the chat the comparison to the Hangman Tree, right?
Well, the Hangman Tree doesn't offer what the Wizard Tutor offers. The Hangman Tree offers more in a blocking way, but yeah. Like the magic channel, especially if you go second. If you go first, you always got that extra stat point, but if you go second, you want to curve up in might, but maybe you need that Soul Reaver then. Well, I talk about Necro now, but the Hangman stats. Maybe, or in that case, maybe you need the Fireball if you thought about the Invoker.
Yeah, yeah, that's true, and you know the 1 might is crucial here.
It's really awesome, also for the Invoker.
Yep, that's true. So we're moving to the second creature.
Yes.
Which is
the Dancing Dervish.
Dancing Dervish. What do you think about
it? I'm a bit. What I like that it offers play situation where the people that don't read the cards very good can be devastating if the enemy is like doing a mistake. You can use it to block the Goblin Hunter and the Marksman from Haven, the physical shooters. On the other hand, the card itself is very underwhelming. It's 203, so it's worse than a Moonsilk Skeleton stat-wise, and its ability in the offensive is very bad. So if you just put something with 2 retaliation against it, it's pretty much done for.
Yeah, but as you say, the stats are not the stats are underwhelming. But on the other hand, just think, very often people in the a little bit more rushy aggressive decks, if you don't have your Dark Assassin in hand as your turn to play, you rather prefer to play your Succubus, right?
Yes.
Because she's 204, so she cannot die so easily. She will not die to an insect swarm, right? And Dancing Dervish is the perfect blocker for those situations. Or as you mentioned, the Goblin Scout, rather.
Yeah, against the Goblin Scouts, she's awesome. She definitely has some use. So, but it's a common card, right? She shouldn't be super complicated or so. It's a basic card. You gotta remember that Academy doesn't have the basic stuff yet. So
Yeah.
it's good that we see some basic stuff, and it's not a useless basic stuff. So it offers some place.
Yeah, that's true. So she, in general, the verdict is she's okay for what she should do and what place she should be, being a common.
Yeah, she won't define a new deck type like the
No,
other one.
I don't suppose that there will be a Dancing Dervish deck. Like, haha, I kill you now, Dancing Dervish. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
No, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah. So the third
So
card.
let's move on to the Wizard's Apprentice. So we had the tutor, now we have the Apprentice.
Is the text readable? Because I really can't make it. I really cannot make it bigger.
Yeah. Well, let's just read it. It's immune to retaliation. It has attack anywhere, and it has phased. Phased is a new awesome ability, which sees that you cannot block with this card, but also enemy creatures can't attack it. So there might be a situation where it's bad, of course, because I just said awesome, but it's something new, and it may be printed more on just a single card.
Yeah, and I already see a very, very interesting question by Miso Alf in the chat. Will sweep attack hit him?
So the text says that you cannot attack him, and as far as I know, if you attack something with sweep attack, then it's just spreading the damage, but it's not an actually attack command on the guy that gets swept. So I don't know, because I didn't know that yet, that there could be a possibility, but I guess it should work.
But on the other hand, if you have a situation where you have a creature in front of your sweeper, and the next creature next to it is having fear that would normally prevent the sweeper from dealing damage, fear still takes place, and you don't attack the guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
so let's keep it open here. We cannot tell.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what the card is.
Yeah. He is horrible early game if you are planning to defend. I don't see his use as defender because he doesn't soak up any damage at all.
Yes, he cannot. He's clearly using advantage board position to control it better.
Yes, exactly.
It's a so-called win more card most of the times.
That's true. And on the other hand, if we think about it, if you are already in slightly favorable position and you can afford to play a phased guy, right? If he had 3 HP, then there will be really little stuff that can kill him. And it's very important that he's got only 2 HP, because just remember, no damage from, like, no creature can deal damage to him when the creature attacks him. Only in retaliation, but he's got immune to retaliation, right? So so it's crucial that he can get killed by earthquake and firebolt, right? But it's kind of a failsafe to make him overpowered.
Yes, exactly. So with all the stuff that we talked about, that Academy will offer a new gameplay, as have been mentioned in Simon's thread as well. I guess it's good to not like do the simple guys who just could dominate something, not over the top. So the interesting strategies dominate and not the stat game.
Mm-hmm.
So at the moment he is mediocre because like he cannot soak up damage. He has just 2 HP, but You cannot. You can. This guy can be pretty mean. I can see him in some weird decks. He can definitely do some stuff, and you shouldn't underestimate him just for his stats.
Yes, though, as you said, win more, you already need to have the board. Now there was a question from the chat about, oh, I don't want it to run away from me. It will escape. Why retaliation damage? Why on earth does he have retaliation damage if he cannot get attacked? Well, I think that it's not wrong in general to give him retaliation damage, even though he cannot get attacked, because maybe there are cards that will remove phased, right?
Yes, I just wanted to say that we don't have any card that like disable creature abilities, but well, I don't know. Maybe in the future, maybe we will see. It's possible. So it doesn't hurt that he has one retaliation.
Yeah. Exactly.
So let's move on to the last card that has been shown, which is the Tevered Warrior.
Yeah, and everybody likes hippos, right? Right?
Yeah, and some guys saw him in the Space Elephants feature video before.
Yeah,
he sneaked it in there.
Yeah, but okay, let's talk seriously, because that's what this show is about.
Yes,
he's a fatty, and he's got actually an ability that I love. I am so happy, and I hope that this ability will happen more than once, of having some amount of damage that you deal to everything that you normally attack, and then sort of a specialty enemy. It's basically an inverse of guard.
Yeah, I like that a lot as well. I would have liked to see some things like on hero, that it is not so good against creatures but good against heroes, so you can easily block it. This one works the other way around. It is, let's say, only 4 damage, which would be a lot for Necro though on 5 drop, but it's only 4 damage on the hero, but it's 6 on a melee. So this is really hard to block with any melee creatures, and but you need to block it because it has 4 attack.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a really good guy.
Let's have a certain reference point, right? This is basically one more cost for a Tainted Orc with the additional damage ability, right?
Yes, so in Stronghold it would be worse than the Tainted Orc, because Stronghold offers a lot of tanks and stuff.
Yeah.
But this is not Stronghold. You gotta remember that in a different faction with different spell schools, while it has Primal and can probably do they have Primal? I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Sorry.
But yeah, it was some of the new heroes, Hakim and Miranda in forums. They have Primal, so they have access to Primal. So teleport is an option with him.
That's true. Somebody pointed out that Tainted Orc is 4/3/7. I am aware of that, but the point is that you are gaining something that is more important than this 1 point of retaliation, right?
Yes.
And just as you said, you're totally right. This is not Stronghold. This is not a faction where you're supposed to have big fat asses, which he is. So
that means you get a utility and a big fat guy. So
exactly. So I'm not thrilled about him. What I really am thrilled about is the ability. I really hope this ability will surface more and more, because this is exactly what creates interesting play. When you have cards that are okay, but amazingly strong in very, very certain situation, in some specific usages.
Yes, so I guess we sum up the already shown cards here.
Yeah.
I think it's a good time to invite Jason now, our special guest, to our show.
I would just take 2 more minutes just to show and appreciate the beautiful artworks of the Morgan the Beloved General, who is the heaven hero that is going to heal himself in some certain situation. We don't really know yet in which, right?
I missed that one.
Yeah, this guy is there as well. And I like the fact that it's really theming up nicely with heaven, right? Healing is purely a heaven ability, right? And we didn't have a hero that heals himself.
No, not yet.
I
We
I
have had a hero that heals creature, but
yeah
rather underwhelming at the moment.
yeah, at the moment a bit underwhelming. So what I would like to see from him is maybe a deck with early good heaven defense, not the heaven rush, because that's not what I like about heaven. Heaven is supposed to defend, and then I would like him to get to 4 or 5 might and drop those bigger guys. That's what I would really enjoy to see heaven being played like that.
Yeah, we will see.
Yeah. And the second one is the Siham. Am I right? Siham Spirit Sever. And her ability was to, in some certain condition, destroy cheap creatures.
Oh yeah, this can be really awesome.
Yeah. But
what I really wonder if I it hasn't been mentioned, but if I can or I have to destroy things, if I have the choice or do I have to?
yeah, I'm not sure, and we will definitely get some more info soon. We don't know when, but yeah, we will have to wait for the actual reveal, because so far I think all the heroes have been revealed in a fashion of that's the art, that's the story, and that's
Amazing
the
art, by the way.
yeah, it is, and that's the general info about it. But there were no exact details, and yeah, and the art is really nice, and you know what I really like? There is this overarching theme of desert, right?
Yes.
And you can like relate her to being some sort of, I mean, that's just my feeling, that's not the real story behind it, some sort of corrupted nomad.
Yeah, with the scythe or the scythe
Yeah,
like
yeah, it,
thing in
it
the
looks really
hand. I
nice.
don't know. Sickles it is.
Yeah. All right, so those were the already revealed cards, and now we should call up our guest. Don't you think so?
Yes,
All
I
right,
think
so
that's a great idea. I guess he's eagerly to join us and thinks, what
I
are
hope so as
those
well.
talking about?
So let me just call him up. Uh, yep. All right. All right. So Jason, pick up. Pick up.
Hello.
Yeah. Uno
Hello,
momento.
Jason.
Hey.
Yep. Now it's looking better. Hello,
Hey,
Jason.
nice.
Yeah.
So, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty darn good myself, man. Good show so far. Love the fact that you guys have been going over all of the cards we've revealed so far. Looking forward to talking a little bit about the meta with you here in Fuel.
Yeah. I find it really important to talk about the strategic implications of cards, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that everyone that's watching will be really happy by the end of the show
Okay.
too, with some new things we'll be revealing. So, I look at this. I already see people. Everyone in the man, you guys are awesome. Hi to everybody.
Oh, pure love from Jason.
It's all love.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
So, Jason, tell us something about yourself.
Oh wow. Just something random? Anything in particular?
Let's tell us first, where do you live?
Currently live Raleigh, North Carolina, where our office actually is here on the east coast of the United States.
Hmm. So that's
Mhm.
the US of A
The U.S.
branch
of A,
of
correct.
Ubi. And what do you do in Ubisoft?
Currently, I am the community manager for the Road to Paris tournament. So, if you have been following the competitive side of Duel of Champions at all, that is where I'm currently doing my work.
Okay, let's talk about the road to Paris in a second. I've saw you organize some events on the forum as well. The jackpot challenge. Tell us a bit about that because I've winning some seals there, and that made me pretty happy.
Yeah, for sure. The Jackpot Challenge was originally created as a way to basically get people competitive without necessarily hurting their Road to Paris qualifier standings on the leaderboard. Basically, we wanted to have a way to get people active and have fun, and I came up with an idea. Since the only matches that would work for the leaderboard for Road to Paris were going to be the ones that you played in regular duels. If you play in a jackpot tournament or a Swiss tournament, it's not going to affect your placing. So came up with a couple challenges. We've been doing one a week, just to get people involved, get them happy, and have something fun, something challenging, something new, to just basically keep things active. And you know what, it's been successful. It's been really good. The community's really loved it. I've really enjoyed seeing the different kinds of card combinations, the different combos people have come up with. I mean, we've done it for Crag Hack. People have done ridiculously well with him in Jackpot Tournament, which I thought was pretty cool. Some of the lesser known, lesser used champions, and it's been a lot of fun. I mean, we just finished our last qualifier for August. We're probably going to have to switch things up a little bit in the coming weeks, but I think we're going to keep doing it because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And, if people want to join that, where do they find information about it?
In the DOC forums, it'll be actually under the forum events section, the subsection.
Yeah, there is a question from Misoal. When is the new jackpot challenge coming in?
It happens actually once a week. It's whatever day the jackpot challenge is going to be, either on Thursday or Friday. So since things change every week, it's normally, I think this week, what is it? Last week they did it on Thursday, I believe. So I think it'll be Friday this week.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely in 2 days, because today is jackpot time.
So I'll have to get something up tomorrow on whatever the challenge will be, and we'll have a lot of fun.
All right. Tell us, how did you get into the Duel of Champions in general?
Well, I mean, truthfully, it was because of this position. I had never really been too big into card games before, but I am so incredibly addicted to Duel of Champions right now. Even when I'm not working, I'm still at home playing the game. It's damn addictive. But I came into Ubisoft actually about 3 months ago, and started out actually on a couple other titles, some browser-based games, Settlers Online, Anno Online, and ended up coming over and when this position opened up and working on Duel of Champions, and haven't been able to get off the game ever since.
Well, that's great. I love the game as well. And it's been amazing that you joined. I think you did a lot already in the short time, or not taking away anything from the others, but they have already been. It's not as special if they do keep the work every time. It's kind of easy to forget what job the others do as well, because they do it every day, and you came in new, and wow.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I guess we just go on to the Road to Paris now.
One more question. One more
You
question.
have one more? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Matrix is curious.
Yeah. Is there, and this is a question with a purpose, is there anything else that is very special about you? Maybe you've done something special?
Oh man, I guess that this is a perfect chance to talk about my competitive gaming background.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually used to be a competitive gamer myself, which is why I kind of wanted to get involved with Road to Paris, and potentially even something like Ubisoft's Next Level tournaments that they've just started recently. Stay tuned for more info on that. I know if you guys were watching the PAX stream, you saw some really cool stuff from that. But I used to be a competitive Guitar Hero player, which a lot of people don't even realize was a competitive title at one point.
Guitar Hero.
Yeah, a lot more over here, more so in North America than it was worldwide. But yeah, I was a 2-time national champion here in North America for Guitar Hero. Absolute highest, I was ranked 7th in the world on it. Was able to travel quite a bit around the world for it, and it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
I owe a lot of my experiences in life to a plastic guitar.
Nice. And is it only the plastic guitar, or do you play regular guitar as well?
Yeah, actually, I do play regular guitar as well. That's what got me into it. I was in college at the time for my first degree, which was in music, and played guitar, was in guitar class. A friend of mine said, "You're into gaming as well. You should really check this game out," and ended up buying it and ended up being pretty decent at it right from the get-go.
Awesome, awesome. If I may have a random plug to it, when I've been to Gamescom, I've seen this new game from Ubisoft. It's called Rocksmith.
Rocksmith. And if you haven't had the chance to play the first one,
No.
it's a lot of fun. 2014 is going to be incredible though with the extra features it's going to be bringing out. So if anybody here is interested in learning to play guitar, definitely would check it out.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how to play a guitar, but it was looking so awesome on the stage. All right.
You actually can teach yourself on it too, so don't be scared of it.
Okay. Yeah. So as Rancord suggested, let's move on to Road to Paris.
For sure.
So I have a question here. So what do you think of the whole tournament so far? How has it been going? So have there many people taken part? And
Yeah, actually, I mean, we've had just over 700 entries in both online qualifiers, so 1,400 total players between the 2 months, which I think is pretty awesome. I think that's some good numbers for our first major online event like this. I'm pretty happy about that. Do I think there are things that we could have done better in retrospect? Of course. And that's going to be great because that's great feedback for us in the future. Like when we do our next event sometime next year, I'm assuming. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can improve on, and I'm really looking forward to hearing the community's feedback as well. But on my side, I'm pretty happy with the way it's going. I'm looking forward to starting our August playoffs, which will be happening rather shortly. But yeah, so far so good. I'm looking forward to seeing the end of this tournament.
All right. And did you notice any interesting trends about the decks that are being played, and what decks do you expect in the August qualifier playoffs?
That's a really good question. The first qualifier, the July playoffs, right? We had quite a variety of decks. We saw a lot of Necro, as that was still very popular. I mean, it still is right now. We saw actually a couple of Slowpoke decks, which of course, yet again, still very popular. But let's see, Uyao, the guy who won, he played a Slowpoke Demiria to win it, and he also played a Haven deck to get into the finals. So even though Haven is widely considered to be one of the more underpowered factions right now, you're seeing quite a few people actually, even outside the qualifiers, picking up Haven with Wolf Captains, and seeing lots of Alias and also lots of Sandalphon recently. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of that coming up in August too.
so you expect less Necro, I guess.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if we see Necro, a lot of people have been going to the Nurgle Slowpoke, which I'm sure we're gonna have to talk about that in a little bit. That's getting pretty popular right now. But the other thing, and I don't know if you guys caught this, there's a really popular new combo for Haven that's been popping up. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see someone pull this out in the August qualifier, which is the new combo that Cuckoo's been making very popular between Imperial Guards and Towering units. Have you guys caught that yet?
No, no.
No.
I actually haven't seen it.
Me neither.
Dude, that's okay. Tell me about it.
I am about to blow your mind, okay? Because
Uh-huh.
I cannot believe that anybody hasn't come up with this combo yet. So Imperial Guards, they basically suck all damage to that unit from your hero, right? But a towering unit, you can't damage anything else in a lane unless that towering unit dies first, right? So if the towering unit's still alive and you're trying to do damage to a hero, well, it's going to be 0 on the Imperial Guard, 0 on the hero. It's going to basically negate all damage. They have to kill the towering unit first before the damage will even go to the Imperial Guard. So it can be used as a mill. If you throw in what's her name, the creature that in Haven that heals all damage each turn.
Eleanor.
Eleanor's, yeah. So if you throw her in, it gets even more powerful. If you're playing Alia and you can heal your creatures each turn, it becomes even more powerful. So it's definitely something that I think with it being a little bit more popularized on stream in the last week might be something we see pop up.
Yeah,
Luckily, I play Necro and use Soul Reaver to get rid of it.
yeah. I didn't really have a chance to watch Tsutsu's stream recently, but yeah, this is something to watch out for. Maybe it's not really necessarily a super overpowered deck because as Rancor mentioned, this combo is very fragile.
It is, but it still can definitely work given the right circumstances.
Yeah, that's
So,
interesting.
so now that we already talked about the play, what do you think about generally the players that were playing in the or made it far into online or generally in the road to Paris? What kind of like enemies people have to face in Road to Paris?
Sorry, I just got really distracted.
Yeah, I saw someone going by.
Could you repeat that, please?
Oh yeah, sure. What do you think about the player level on the road to Paris? So there's a lot of guys who, I mean, there has been some things like the offline qualifiers is of course not for everyone because not everybody can be there, but generally the player level should be quite high nonetheless. Or what is your opinion on that?
It's really funny because on the Facebook last month, I saw someone that was like, "Man, I should have qualified for Road to Paris. I was so good. I got knocked out the last second." And we went and looked, and every single person in the top 16 was at least 1500 elo, right? I mean, the people that are up there that are qualifying for this event are top tier. So even though there are some names that people don't recognize, it's all top level players. And it's definitely showing. I mean, we have some really cool stories that are coming out of this. Oyao, the person who won the July qualifier, he was the 16th seed, but he was still able to knock out everybody that was in the event up to that point. So it's definitely a very high level competition, and I'm excited to see if one of these people from the online qualifier can take it through to the next level and win the whole thing.
I guess Matrix doesn't want that because he's still trying to qualify.
Yeah. I wasn't really lucky with my qualifier, with a couple of misfortunate timeouts from the online August qualifier. I got just kicked out for no reason, practically. Yeah. So what what do you think about the online qualifier system at all? Could it be better? Could it be improved? Is it something that in a shape that you wanted to have it?
I think it absolutely could be better. I feel like this isn't the best way to get top players for the finals. I mean, it works for what it is right now. I think that we can definitely improve it for the future. I'd like to see us evolve into a little bit more of a league format, have more people being able to participate, not just be about win percentage. I mean, again, it works for what it is right now, but we definitely are going to take the feedback we've gotten from the community on this event and reassess and reevaluate and make things better in the future. I think that yeah, it could definitely be better. This isn't optimal, but it's going to work.
Uh, do you think that maybe what we really need in Duel of Champions when it comes to tournaments is something bigger, because we have this one huge thing being the Road to Paris or the championships, right? And then we
Right.
have those tiny player organized tournaments. There's nothing middle sized. So if you are serious about playing a little bit more competitive the game, it's either Road to Paris or nothing.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I think that that's something that I'm going to have to discuss with everybody in the coming year. What we want to do, and maybe we'll even put a poll out for the community, see what the majority of people want. Um, Simply because it's something that we have to evaluate and learn as we're going as well. Um, there's a lot that's going to be happening to the game in the next year. I mean, not only do we have Forgotten Wars coming out, but we also have the next set that's already in development, and then the second base set as well. That from what the developer bulletin they just put out yesterday, it's all scheduled by the end of the year. So I mean, we're gonna have a very different game at this point next year, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna. I mean, they're still working on putting spectator mode into the game. There are a lot of things that have yet to be added that are going to make this a much better competitive experience. And once we have all that implemented, there's going to be a lot more possibility, right? And we can definitely evaluate there at that point what's going to be best and ask the community for their input as well.
So, guys, I have to cut it here a bit short because we're already quite far into time, and we want to talk about decks now and show something to the guys. So the one question I have left for you about yourself is about the deck you talked about earlier, Nurgus OTK. We all watched your stream and saw you playing. So tell us a bit. I mean, obviously you're a pretty new player, I'd say, and you didn't get all the cards. But what was your experience, and how did you feel after playing it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, okay, so the Dirk, I don't understand why people call it OTK, because it isn't an OTK. I mean, you're not killing them in one turn. It's more of a slowpoke. It really is. But this is probably one of the strongest decks in the game right now, in my opinion. You have a lot of potential ways to protect yourself, a lot of ways to poke the opponent down between thrones and altars, and also things like stone shields. The thing is, though, primal magic really screws you over. You know, Rancord, I love the shades. That's you're protecting yourself from the sun. I like that. It's like stone shield for your eyes.
Yeah,
that's good.
that's his stone shield.
That's stone shield for your eyes. I like it. Protecting yourself from ultra shadows. See,
Oh, bad
that
puns,
was horrible.
but bad puns
Oh
incoming.
God, that was horrible. I need to
So
follow up on
what about
after
the
that
skill level of the deck? So I see a lot. If you play that, it's learn to play or so.
It's really funny because a lot of people feel it's like a brain dead deck, and it really isn't. If you play it, there's a lot more involved in it than you realize. When I played against decks like this before I actually tried it, I was like, shh, another one of these decks. God, and I would say really bad things. But now that I've played it, I actually know there are flaws in it, and I see ways to get around it. If you're playing against something like a Belias, you are screwed, man. There are so many ways for him to get damage through to you. I actually recommend everyone try it out. And I know that's scary for people because a lot of people hate this playstyle. But the best way to counter something is to know what you're playing against. It's definitely not as easy peasy as people think it is.
It's actually very easy to rush this deck if you have an insane rush deck. That's one. Second,
Yep.
Damiria, maybe it's not as hard of a counter to this one as it is to other control decks, but it's still quite painful, right?
Yep.
And as you said, the primal magic just wrecks this deck. All you need to do is to include the proper answers.
Yep.
So
Minor recall.
This deck relies heavily on graveyard recursion from Asha, Shantiri, Saria's Legion, Atropos. Our counters to that are a bit limited at the moment. I mean, we have the Void Keeper, and
for now.
Oh.
It's only for now, though. I mean, that's actually a really good transition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though before the transition, I have still an important question from the. I'm rephrasing the question from the chat. How big part do you feel the Week of Austerity bug is playing in the success of this deck?
I think this deck would still be very powerful, even without the event being in the state that it currently is, which I cannot wait for that to be fixed. That is the #1 headache for our entire community management team right now. I mean, we've been fighting very hard for that, but let's just say there's been a lot of issues in making that fixed, basically. It kind of bites. I mean, as said in the developer bulletin yesterday, we had to push the fix back to the expansion, which thankfully, hey, that's going to be a huge thing of the expansion. Finally, yay. But at least we have a deadline now. We know when it's going to happen. So That's good.
Mhm.
I do think that this deck would still be powerful. Yeah, it's 1 or 2 damage here or there, but I mean, you still got your tower, you still got your graveyard recursion to be able to pull back the POWs. I don't know how effective this deck will be after the expansion, because there are going to be a lot of ways to combat things like this in the new sets. So we'll see. If I mean, I think this kind of deck will be a lot harder to play
Alright.
in the future. But even with austerity in the current state that it's in, if it wasn't like that, I think this would still be a very strong deck.
I hope you're still being understandable because you're roboing out. All right, so
Yeah.
let's have our smooth transition. And I heard that the Christmas came in early this year.
Yes. Hopefully my internet here at the office isn't too shoddy at the moment, and people will be able to hear this, because this is where things get really cool.
Yeah.
Because we have a new Haven card that we are going to debut for the first time.
Oh, do we now?
We do, and his name is the Crusader Chaplain. If you actually could, I know I gave you the art earlier, if you could throw that up on the screen.
Yes. Let me
that we
just
could,
position it nicely.
Sure, awesome. So for everyone that's taking a look for the first time, this is the Crusader Chaplain, and this is going to be a new addition to the Haven set of cards. And I am such a huge fan of this artwork, and I think that this is going to be a huge implication for the game.
Before,
Simply because...
sorry. Before we talk serious stuff, let's just get rid of the non-serious stuff about this card. This artwork, as you said, is amazing, right? It's freaking beautiful, and I really love the fact that they made somebody inherently good look really freaking evil and menacing.
Yeah, man, that mace is beautiful.
Yeah.
And he has his crowd around him,
Yeah.
which kind of fits Haven, like one protect them all.
You know how it feels? It's like there is this buttload of Haven soldiers, and suddenly they open like the Red Sea, Crusader Chaplain comes in, and your opponent feels, oh, shit's going down.
Yeah, I really like the fact that, and this is just coming from a lowly community manager. I mean, I'm not one of the guys that does the art, but I really feel like our artwork is definitely improving and improving and improving.
It is.
The look of this next expansion is just gorgeous.
All right, let's talk meat.
But
let's talk
yes, I
meat,
was gonna
not
say,
bones.
Let's talk a little bit more. I'm going to actually read this verbatim here. A little bit about his story. The Holy Empire may be allied with the Seven Cities, but they're far from agreeing with each other. Crusaders, such as this one, are watching over the mages, keeping tabs on their activities and sometimes interfering when they think they've gone too far. To the Crusaders, no one should try to raise the dead. This is where this becomes crucial, because the Crusader Chaplain prevents any card in the graveyard from being the target of cards or abilities as long as he's in play.
Sweet!
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's huge. This gets even better because the Crusader gets a bonus when he's at full health, where he cannot be the target of abilities or cards as long as he has no damage on him.
So he's full health, no Soul Reaver, no Puppet Master, no nothing.
Correct. That's why I was just saying before, OTKs, things like that, a lot of Necro cards, this is going to be a perfect counter once this card comes into play. It's going to be, I think this is going to really help out the viability of a lot of Haven decks.
I guess people will love this card.
Can you tell us if he's a melee or shooter, or he doesn't look like Flyer, not much.
unless you can grow some wings out and go around dashing the head with that mace. But I mean, I'm going to imagine, and this is just me because I don't have the exact statistics in front of me. I'm assuming that he's going to be a melee. From that artwork, I'd imagine so.
Yeah.
But man, those abilities. I mean, I want to ask you guys, what do you think of the implications of what we're going to be able to do with this card?
Rancord, go first.
Yes, I personally like that we have a card that kindly prevents stuff, a creature which prevents stuff, instead of like a fortune or just an instant answer. Like, we just have a creature and you can deal with it, But it's not gonna be just a simple, oh, I Soul Reaver and then recycle. It's gonna be hard to deal with it.
Yeah, yeah. Since the guy hits the ground, right? You cannot touch any of your cards, and your opponent cannot touch any of his cards in the graveyard. And suddenly, the amount of solutions he might have just goes down crazily if he relies on the graveyard. Obviously, that's when you want to play him. Just think that very often those stalling decks, the slowpokes and so on, like the Necro, Nurgle Slowpoke, he doesn't really rely 100% on his hand. He relies on the fact that he can Shantiri back anything he needs. So he can Shantiri back the Insect Swarm. Well, he cannot. No touching of any card by. Let me just underline it again. Any card in any graveyard cannot be touched by any spell or ability at all while he's in play.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is too, to finish out the description actually that's written about the card, he's no pushover either. He's not as aggressive as the Wolf Captain, stat-wise, but he can certainly hold his own on the battlefield too. So I think that this is going to be a very welcome addition to the Haven family.
I've heard that he's got reasonable stats, and he's got a reasonable cost. I don't really cannot tell more about that, but I think that he will not be an easy auto addition, but he will not be a really hard choice to add him to your deck.
So he is playable. He is really playable and not just a silver bullet.
Yeah.
I think that this is going to be a really big addition to pretty much any Haven deck. I mean, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't want to include it at this point. You know, I mean, considering how big graveyard recursion is right now, being able to recycle cards and take things back when you need them, especially Necros. Like you think of things like Atropos. I mean, this is going to be the Atropos counter. You know, it's going to be a beautiful way to play around that Necro ability.
Yeah. And the second ability, that as long as he's got no damage on him, he cannot be targeted. That is not a bad ability on its own, even, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to stop people from using Decay Spitters and putting poison counters on him, infect counters on him. That's going to stop you from putting a Death Seal on him if he's at full health, so you can't kill him in one hit. No Soul Reavers, no Puppet Masters. You're going to have to either play a spell, like something like an Insect Swarm, an Earthquake, something that's going to be able to take him down a little bit of life so you can finish him off with a killing blow. Or maybe even have to waste a POW or something like that just to get an initial punch in the face so that you can take him out.
That's amazing, because from the description, this is not a one card that solves all of your problems. But he makes enough problems for the opponent that he needs to get out of his way to deal with them.
I really love the implications of this simply because I'm a very big proponent of counterplay. And that's something that I think we're seeing more and more, where there are counters to each way of playing the game, right? Oh, well, this mechanic is coming up here. I have this card to counter it, right? So I think that this is going to open up a lot of possibilities for, I guess, counterplay against Necros is the biggest thing.
I can think, because I've been playing now a lot of Inferno, and like I need to get rid of some units with Town Portal in front of me, and I don't want to deal the damage first because I want to deal the damage to the enemy hero. That might be awesome there as well. Like if I play Rush, this card is annoying for me. I need to attack first before I can firebolt it, and I already might take, depending on his stats, some retaliation damage.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, so just to sum it up, if he hits the deck, no cards in no graveyards can be targeted by any spells or abilities, and if he's got full health, he cannot be targeted himself. Great creature. I really like the design. And a kick-ass artwork, which is just is the cherry on the top.
Yeah, kudos to our art team for creating a pretty kick-ass piece of art. To be
Definitely.
totally honest, I mean, that's the only way I can put it.
Do you have at hand the name of the artist? Because I feel like it's really nice to be able to name the person who did that.
I wish I did. I don't, unfortunately, at
It's
the
okay.
moment. But
It's okay.
on that point, I will say kudos to our entire art team because, like, I don't know if you guys got to see the Sahar Skirmisher, the community created card. We
Hmm.
did the speed painting that was released on YouTube last week, and man, I'm just absolutely blown away by the talent they
Hmm.
have.
I
It's
did
pretty cool.
I didn't see this one, but I've seen the earlier speed painting of the alternate art POW, and it was something really impressive.
I think this was our best speed painting to date. So if
Yeah.
you get the chance, I'd highly recommend. It's on
Nice.
the Ubisoft channel, so go check it out.
Nice. We will.
Good.
I know we are running late as always, but I would still like, if you don't mind, Jason, to take a couple of questions from the chat to you.
Sure,
And
please. Yeah, I mean, I whatever time you need, I got
yeah,
it.
so guys, I think you forgive us if we'll go a little bit over time, like 20 minutes, maybe a bit more. I think it's okay. So please, I will just pick. Please post questions to that you have to Jason on any topic you want. Literally any topic you want. He will gladly answer all your questions.
Oh, stop! Don't set that. No, stop it! Stop
Mm,
it! Don't do that. You're setting them up for failure.
yeah, I know, I know. Uraxer and a couple of other people are asking what is the rarity of the card.
I don't have that information yet. It wasn't told to me. I only had the artwork and then what it did. So I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I know that for a fact, and this is going to be, I guess, kind of a way to hold you guys off till next week. I know that Simon, who's actually in chat, is supposed to be doing a couple of articles about game mechanics, things like that. Who knows? Maybe he'll be able to include something like that. But at least that gives you something to look forward to. I think those should be coming next week. So stay tuned, and maybe we'll have some more information that way.
All right. Shakero is asking, can you say something about that altar of wishes in the bulletin?
Man, it's going to be a way to make your wishes come true. I can say that much. We should we should have, I think, more information on that coming within the next couple weeks. I believe they're actually working on a way to debut how it's going to work very soon. Um, I don't know how much more I can give away. It's just simply because I'm not allowed to yet.
Mm,
I would tell you if I could. I promise I would, guys. Um, but basically, I mean, as everyone's figured out, it is called the Ultra Wishes now with the spoiled picture, right? But I don't know. I think from everything I know that I can't say yet, I think this is gonna solve a lot of problems that people have been wanting. You know, something like a trading feature. This isn't gonna hurt the economy. It's not gonna be pay to win. Um, it's gonna be good. Everything I've heard, it's gonna be good. So my tongue's kind of tied on anything more than that.
okay,
But
okay.
stay tuned.
We
We'll have
understand. We understand you've got some restrictions. The number one Gior Die asks, um, oh crap, not him. It's Black. Sorry, it's Black 1988 asking, is there anything planned for randomness of the passive events at the moment?
You know, I mean, I know we had to change what was it, Week of the Wild Spirits in the last batch, and I'm not going to be as good on answering these questions for balancing as someone like the dev team would be. I'm going to be much more on community side of Road to Paris, so that's where I'm going to be able to speak much more eloquently.
Mhm.
But I know that I've read that people are talking about that. You know, like the tame spirits is a little bit they feel is stronger because you don't have to activate that like you used to have to do like Week of the Wild Spirits, where you know now it's one resource to turn it on. Um, I don't know. I think it's being looked at, but I don't know if any changes are coming yet.
All right.
But I do know that they are well aware. They've seen the feedback, and now it's just trying to figure out if they are going to make any changes. I don't know one way or the other if they are, but it is being looked at from what I've heard.
All right. All right. So basically, there's no point of asking you the balancing questions because you don't know or you cannot answer them. So
Right.
there is another question from Zaylor1. Will iPad version be synced with PC version this time?
In what way? What do you mean? Like, I guess maybe I don't understand the question.
Last time there was the problem of with the release, and the decision was that the iPad version will be delayed uh, compared to the PC version, because it was the problem with the iPad version not being able to be released early enough. So they were out of sync for a week or 2 weeks, something like this. It was kind of
Right, right. I mean, anything I say here is going to be speculation. I'm going to imagine so, right? It's really tough for me to answer that considering everything isn't done yet, right? I can tell you that they've been really good about getting things pushed out to iPad. I mean, even when we had the Crag hack problem, where they had to do the update right overnight to fix the problem, where we had that giant bug in the game, right? They were able to, even going through Apple's processes, get out a new version overnight. So things have been getting better there. So I'm gonna imagine so. But again, this is speculation.
So I guess you planning on syncing it, but yeah, it's not always in your hands. Is that
Correct.
about
I
it?
mean,
Okay.
when you're working on a game like this, you have a lot of other, aside from just our own company that we need to help worry about. We actually have things like Apple that we need to, you know, be in talks with. That I mean, it's not just us. So I mean, we're working as hard as we can to make sure everything gets out in sync. Um, Fingers crossed, if everything goes according to plan, it will.
So now the number one your die. What happens after the road to Paris for the competitive scene? Any plans in
That's
motion?
that's a great question, and one I'll be more than willing to answer. As I was saying earlier in the show, we definitely have to look at um, what the feedback from the community is, what people are looking for. I know that Azza and I have been talking about the potential of leaks in the future. Um, there's no set in stone what exactly we're going to do just yet, but I think that would be a really cool way. And if anybody has feedback on what they would like to see, I would be more than willing to listen. You can either shoot me a message on the Ubisoft forums, Jason Paradise. You can send me a message here on Twitch. I'll put my name in the chat right there. I just pointed an arrow to myself. You can click on my name, send me a message that way. I'd be more than happy to hear. If you guys want to hear something in the competitive DOC scene, we can try to listen to everybody's feedback and try to make it happen. So kudos to Azza. Shout out to him for all the great ideas he's been throwing my way. I'm hoping between what he knows of our community, because he's obviously been a part of it longer, and then also my experience in the competitive scene, that we're going to be able to take what happened with Road to Paris this year and make it that much better in the future.
Okay.
So right now, I mean, leagues are what it's looking towards, but at the same time, it's still up in the air. We could change it based on your feedback. So if you want to influence it, let me know.
Okay, two last questions. One of them is please answer really shortly. Sealed format coming or not?
I don't know. Can't answer.
Okay.
No answer. Sorry.
All right. And the very last question, actually, I joined with a question that already I had, and there was some other people asking. A question by Verval. How are you going to promote the game to reach a larger audience when other card games are on the rise? And just let me add the one small part that I wanted to. Are you afraid of Hearthstone?
Not afraid of it at all. I think Hearthstone is the best thing that could have possibly happened to this game, because we completely serve two different communities. I mean, Hearthstone is much more based on obviously the World of Warcraft community. They have, I feel like this game is a little bit more competitive. That's just my personal opinion.
By this game, you mean Mathematic Duel of Champions?
Correct.
Yeah.
I think Duel of Champions just is a little bit more competitive in my mind than just the format that Hearthstone allows. I like their arena format. I really do. I think that we could take some ideas and possibly make them better. Hearthstone, yeah, Iceblaze just said in chat, Hearthstone is casual, and I pretty much agree with that. I mean, that's not a knock on them. It's definitely a market that needs to be catered to. But I think that
maybe we see new players that didn't touch card games yet that will start with Hearthstone, and maybe they just want something more competitive, and this is a big chance for Duel of Champions.
Yep. I can't tell you how many people already have messaged me saying, "Wow, I was waiting for a Hearthstone beta key, and I was just looking to find some sort of card game to hold me over until I got my hands on Hearthstone, and I found Duel of Champions, and I'm not going to quit it now because I like this. I like how competitive this is." So in a way, Hearthstone becoming popular is helping us, and I think that we can only grow from here. With the release of the new expansion, I'm assuming that our marketing is going to kick up as well. Again, that's me speaking as I don't know completely, but I know that with the addition of things like Twitch, we can have people streaming right to the game, from the game to Twitch. We're going to see a lot more as the game continues to grow as a title, right? I think we're going to be growing as a community, and as the community grows, I think word of mouth is going to spread. Say, hey, this game's awesome. You guys need to check it out. It's free. It's not pay to win, right? It's going to be good. I think the future is only looking up for us.
So just to sum it up in two sentences, not afraid of Hearthstone. It's good that there is more exposure to card games, and as Slash wrote, grab the good things of Hearthstone and make it better. Ubisoft DLC team.
Correct.
Right.
100%.
All right. So I think we'll be wrapping up the part where you are our guest. Thank you so much, Jason, for coming over. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
I'm glad that you guys asked me on. It was a pleasure. Thank you, and shout out to the entire community for being so flipping incredible since I've been a part of it. I mean, it's only been 2 months, but you guys have welcomed me in. You've given me a lot of feedback, and you made my job much easier. So kudos to all of you. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks.
All right. So
Thank you, Jason.
If you wanna shoot a message on Twitter to Jason, you can see his Twitter just above the window. VVV Paradise at VVV Paradise. Yes, exactly right there.
Yeah.
My Twitter is here. Rancord's is. You didn't do the finger thing. Screw you.
No.
Yeah.
I
All
mean,
right.
I did for you, but
You did.
Thank you, guys.
Love to you, Jason.
Right.
So thank you very much, and now we will be moving to the last part of our
Have
show.
a good one, guys.
Yep.
See ya, Jason.
Guys, let me just really quickly reconnect to Rancord. Uno momento. Yep, and the cam is getting on, and everything is getting perfect. Right. Yes, I am aware that my cam cannot be on because whatever. I don't care. So yes, now we are going to talk about the last part of our show, the aggressive meta, something that has been happening.
Yes, I've been waiting for that. We saw, I guess, with Crack Hack and also Llama Ballonix build, and generally streamers picking up more aggressive decks now, and having success with it. We see a lot of different cool aggressive decks now showing up and winning really fast, getting the wins up fast.
Yep, I just brought up the Llama Ballonix random Garant. What can you tell us about this deck?
Okay, so a lot of you will recognize the cards they played at the very start of the game, because Garant is like probably the most used basic deck. The general thing is that dealing damage to the enemy very fast and pushing through damage. So you use the basic setup of Firebolt, Inner Fire, Town Portal, Altar of Destruction, and aggressive creatures to get the damage through. But what is really important is the events, which are rather unique for a rush deck. Tell us something about what the use of the events is here, or especially the passive one.
Yeah. There is the Week of Austerity, which is something you wouldn't expect in a rush deck in general, because you're playing creatures. You're playing them early. You won't get them there, right? And
so what's the goal of it?
And the goal is that not only you have to play the creatures, but as well your opponent, so he has to defend, right? And if he plays, let's be honest, if you put your Dark Assassin, right, your opponent cannot really afford to play this one cheaper creature than the max. And at the moment, with the week of austerity bug, it's got added efficiency. But let's just assume that there is no bug. I know that it is there, but let's just assume there is no bug. Just think, you play your 2-cost Dark Assassin, you get your 1 damage, right? And your opponent, he cannot really play his weaker 2-drop just to save this 1 life. He has to play 3-drop, and he will get this 1 damage. And that gets you already one damage closer to your ultimate goal, so to kill your opponent.
So basically we both take damage, but because I'm suited for, like, I don't care if I lose HP, because if I don't win fast, I'm dead anyway. So it's just like, just assume this event makes us both starting at 16 HP and instead of 20, and this is way more beneficial for a rush deck than for a control deck.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the core idea why it works so well here, is that you can afford to take the damage in the first 5, 6, 7 turns, right? Because you are out rushing your opponent, right? And you have those firebolt, you have those town portals to make your opponent replay his creatures over and over while you're constantly and continuously pushing damage through, right?
Exactly. So to wrap this up, because for this deck, because we need to move on a bit,
Yeah.
you're very fast against OTK. You have Altar of Destruction and Minor Recall to push through the last damage. And all decks that rely on playing one big unit every turn will have problems, because you just have a lot of tempo gain with all those cards.
Yeah, exactly. So the second deck that we are going to be talking about is going to be the Surya, the new aggressive Surya inspired by Rancord's girlfriend. The Surya. Right? I mean, come on. I look at it and it looks just like your Surya. What's so special about it?
Well, the difference is that you don't, in this version, you don't like stall it out with the trees, but you're actually gonna use ice shells to have more use out of the broken bridges. And I've been playing that version a bit, and what I really like is like the Dark Assassin with ice shell. It's so dangerous.
All right. So I mean, this is the weird thing in the deck. Like, you've got Dark Assassins in Surya that rather is kind of mid-rangey in the your original version, right? And here you've got Dark Assassins that don't really smell like that, right?
Yes, so the basic thing is that Strength of the Sea and the Broken Bridges give you a lot of aggressive power, and this deck makes more use of that, while I'm playing, my version is a mid-range version, which kind of tries to get some board control first and then just exploding with the Strength of the Sea, but this tries to get explosive right from the start. So basically, what I really like, I like my version overall a bit more, of course, but I really like the use of Ice Shell. I've been playing around with the Ice Shell and just having another tool for the Broken Bridge, and you can prevent some AoE. So against Adar Malik, you don't want to put in more creatures, but you need to deal with his board, but then he's just gonna Forbidden Flame, and Ice Shell's gonna follow the plan.
But don't you feel that the only advantage this deck has is if you do have this turn 2 Dark Assassin or turn 3 Dark Assassin directly into Ice Shell, then it's good, and as soon as you don't have it, then it's kind of crap, because you are trading any sort of stability in the mid game that you have with your original deck list for just a chance of having this DAI Ice Shell mini combo.
Yes, I agree here. I wouldn't play with Dark Assassins here, mainly because I don't have 4 anyway. But I don't think the Dark Assassins are the ones I would play, but it just speeds up. Sometimes you want to just get the wins faster, but the Ice Shell is something I'm gonna look into more, because it's not all, because it has a lot of synergies. I can still recycle it with Shantiri, and I can still get rid of it with Revised Tactics. So basically any spell in my deck can be used multiple ways, and in this version, it's no deck card.
It feels actually that it's just. I mean, it's got a similar feel to the crack hack deck. You get your God Hand, you beat him. You don't get your God Hand, well, you can't really recover. It is obviously better at recovering than crack hack, but it's not really awesome. But
Yeah.
it's worth mentioning how the meta is evolving, right? Because the point of this deck is maybe not that it beats everything that it sees, but there is a really great usage for Ice Show.
Yeah, this was a tier 1 XO deck, or X1. I mean, it was 11-1 or 11-0 in one checkpoint. So it's not just a random deck we found. It has been used effective. So
yeah, and the third deck then that has been around for a long time and nobody really found a better alternative, right? Is going to be the
I mean, this
Sandalphon.
deck outrushed my guarantee.
Yeah, oh god, this deck is so freaking frustrating when you're playing Garant with, because he can actually outrush you, and you have a very tiny window to outrush him because he does have a follow-up.
Yes, especially the Tithe Collector early, which he later turns into a damage machine as well with Strength of the Sea and Week of Mercenaries, can be really brutal. And a lot of stuff is very cheap in this deck.
That's true, and moreover, there are things that are included in the how to say it, non-orthodox way, meaning a single or double copies of stuff. Like you have 2 Holy Praetorians, right? If you're playing a rush, you don't want a Holy Praetorian, right?
Yes.
But this is your failsafe against other rushes. This one single Holy Praetorian slows the opposing rushes so much that you get your window, right? Similarly
Yes.
similarly Windgust. This is not an extremely powerful spell, but it can set up a really nice gazer, or it can open up a space for pushing the damage through.
Exactly, and also you have the Wombo combo here. So I like the fact about the deck that has many different ways to deal with the enemy. Well, overall it's still a rush deck more or less. I mean, AOE and late game, usually if you don't push enough damage through early, you're kind of done for.
Yeah, but I wish I could play this deck, but I have only 2 Wolf Captains and still didn't get more. It's really annoying that I don't have them, because this deck just exactly for the reason you said. It's got so many options to deal with the opponent and so many good answers that it feels good. It's like a deck that is pleasant to drive.
Yes, and also the more aggressive the I see those has Monsoon and Revised Tactics as well.
Yeah.
But the more aggressive the meta gets, the worse are usually the stall decks, because the stall decks don't excel at beating the rushes. They excel at beating the decks who aren't as fast and hopefully don't pack any answers against them.
And this deck just looks like it has a potential to be both rush and mid-rangey without sacrificing too much of either.
Yes, that's correct. And for Windgust, I mean, you could still replace the 2 wings with 2 lightning strikes.
Yeah,
if you don't like that card, for example.
I think this is just a matter of choice, and
yes.
I don't see Windgust being used all that much, and that might be something that is the factor increasing its power, because if nobody expects a Windgust, well, it can create additional negative effects.
I just read in the chat, Nurgle Slowpoke has no problems to beat this deck. Well, maybe now, but we just heard about a card, well, you wouldn't include the Angel. No, the Angel doesn't target, right? So we just heard about the reveal card in Haven, which prevents the graveyard recycling. So I guess this will be a deck that will be existing in a different way with the new expansion as well.
Yeah. And exactly, because Angel doesn't target it, or he returns a random card, and then it's already It's already annoying. So yeah, and yeah, as you mentioned, there is the monsoon that you were prophesizing that will become influential in the meta as the mass removal grows, and the wind gust that is quite unique for this version.
I like the card. I just didn't found any use for it yet in my deck. So maybe I should just copy a deck which
Yeah.
makes good use of Wind Gust and try it out.
And just one more thing I would like to point out: this deck plays, I mean, this version plays with 3 Magic Peddlers. That communicates to me, I really want my uniques, and I want them badly, and I want them now. All right, so that's it for the discussion about the meta. Maybe we'll take a couple of questions about the aggressive meta if there are some. Looking at the chat.
Yes, it's your time to ask us something about the aggressive meta.
And in the meantime, you can post the questions, and I will just talk about the a small giveaway, right? That we have
Yes,
planned.
so I just see, can you post the name and links of the decks you discussed in case we want to try them out? Yes, I can do that. I just, you go ahead, and I just post a link in the forum to all of them.
Alrighty. So we would like to ask you to create a be right back kind of screen and logo for DoCTalk. Since this is a show of Rancord and mine, it could possibly include something signifying me and him as the hosts, and some general symbolism of might and magic. Please, if you're using any actual drawings, any actual pictures from the game, you should check it out yourself if you're allowed to do it legally. And we will be giving, for the three best pictures, 3 best full screen logos, you know, like full HD resolution. 300 for the one that we select and we love the most. 200 and 100 seals. Yeah, so
in total, we are giving away 600 seals.
Yep, exactly. We're giving away 600 seals, and we will be waiting. We will be waiting for submissions. How long? Probably we would like to get it before the next DoCTalk, and
so we can give a time frame of 2 weeks. That's good.
Or maybe let's make it till the end of September.
Oh, right, that's okay.
Okay, so yeah, let's say till the end of September we'll be waiting for the submissions, and we will post it in the forums exactly what do we expect and how to submit it, and you will be able to find it there. Yeah, that's it. So we're giving away seals, and we want a nice logo kind of be right back kind of offline screen for DoCTalk for Rancord and me.
I just used this opportunity now to ask some questions. I'm really going to ask them very fast without much explanation. So there was, well, how does Random Garen compare to Random Friars? Generally, Friars is, if you use the same deck I posted before, Friars is stronger because you just need 1 Destiny and you're not losing out of anything. I personally like Garen more because he puts more randomness into everything, but that's just a personal taste. Then there was, what do you guys think is the best decks is with the aggressive meta? I guess the Sandalphon or the Garen if you want to play aggressive deck. The Myriad Creatures if you want to play a mid-range deck. So someone asked about like a mid-range deck. I would play the Myriad Creatures there because you're strong against rushes with all Lurker, the Bloater, all clear, and also you're good against OTK because of your ability.
All right. Any other questions that you wanted to pick to pick?
Yeah, that's the one. Those I've seen. So
All right. There was a question: what would be the best the best deck out of the current aggressive ones?
Out of the current, I prefer Garant. It's just more, for me. It's more reliable than the Sandalphon.
All right.
What's your
I would
point?
actually pick Sandalphon. I feel like this guy has got so many good answers that all you need to do is really, really, really pick your decisions carefully. And the more decisions there are to make, the more mistakes, obviously, but the more you can gain through those decisions.
Okay, and the last question I've seen here. I've had this question in chat as well sometimes before. The use of revised tactics. Because of course, what people understand, you use revised tactics to get rid of the monsoons, for example, if you play against non-fire, non-insect swarm. What you can also do, like, as you see here, Sandalphon is still up. You don't have any way of dispelling. So if the enemy throws down an Earth Grasp, you can just get rid of your Pails. Or you already got your unique spells in the hand. You can get rid of your Peddlers. Or you don't want to get any more of those. Like if you play with 1-drops, you maybe want them in the beginning, but not later. Just remove them. So just remove the cards you think or you know are no use for you in this game or matchup anymore, and it just, you don't see the effect right away, but later, the longer the game goes, the better the card gets.
It's a 1 cost with cantrip, so you get the card back. So you basically lose nothing. Improve the draw quality for the rest of the game.
Exactly. So you don't play it in a rush deck.
No, definitely not. Because in a rush deck, every single one resource counts. There was a question. What about Ariana in the current meta?
Okay, I haven't been playing Ariana as much lately. I think the 18 HP is really something that hurts her outside of her milling deck. It's just I haven't played around with her too much. Have you seen any Arianas except the mill decks successful
I feel
lately?
like Ariana is getting crushed by any build of Damiria so much that it just doesn't work. It just doesn't really work at the moment anymore.
But she has 3 spell scrolls and good 1-2-0 starting. So with more cards, there's a good chance that just because of that, she finds new ways of winning.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I think I'm going to wrap it up for us. We talked about the new cards. We had an amazing guest, Jason Paradise, who talked about himself, a little bit about the road to Paris, and about how does he feel and how he plays the Nurgle OTK. Then we had the reveal of the new card. Let me just bring it up really quickly once more. This is Crusader Chaplain, a Heaven card with 2 amazing abilities. One of them is, as long as he's in play, he prevents any card in any graveyard getting targeted by any spell or any ability. And the second ability, which makes him very resilient, is that as long as he doesn't have any damage on him, he's untargetable. Perfect. Amazing. What did we talk later about?
Well, we talked about the aggressive meta. We showed the decks, and we have our competition where you can win up to 600 seals, which
up to 300 in total 600.
Yeah, in total 600. If you want to see Matrix or me online playing the game, actually, you can follow Matrix here on this stream, where he will be streaming nearly daily, I understand.
Yes, indeed.
And you can follow me at twitch.tv/Rancord. I usually stream at the jackpot days only, and not as much because I'm really busy working, but I find my time as well to stream.
Yep, so follow us on Facebook, on Twitch, on Twitter. You can see our Twitter, my Twitter here. And Rancord, your Twitter where? Yes, good boy.
To do again.
Yes. So that's all, and thank you very much for watching. And you can find this show. There will be a post on the forum where it is.
And we'll upload it in
and
YouTube.
And we'll upload, and you can find everything in the forum post, including all the informations about what we did here, what is the reveal, and what is the competition as well. And yeah, I will be streaming right after, or maybe not right after. I'll take a short break and I will stream later. But yeah, that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for doing it with me, Matrix, and we'll see us another time.
Yep, Rancord, you're an amazing co-host as always, and it's a pure pleasure to do this show with you.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye. See you.